Hi, y'all. The other day I asked a question on a jazz Facebook group. Are scales overrated in learning how to improvise? This ended up being much more of a triggering question than I thought it would be, and some people really got rubbed the wrong way, though I thought it opened up a really interesting dialogue. There was about 130 some comments about this question, um, and I thought it was really interesting to talk about. I myself think that it's important to learn your scales. It's a foundation for music and learning how to improvise. That being said, I think sometimes there might be too much weight placed on that as opposed to um, getting to another place and moving past scales to be a fluid improviser. So, that being said, I want to just kind of break this down in the comments a little bit about what people thought. So, about 55% said no, scales are essential, and they said that scales are the foundation and the alphabet of music. You need them to understand chords and harmony, and every solo comes from scales in some way, which is all true, and I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing in any way. About 30% said they're important but misused, which I think is insightful and getting a little deeper into the question. And it was a little more nuanced. They said scales are tools and not the goal. Running scales won't teach you to improvise. You need phrases, harmony, ear, and context. Scales don't equal music, they're just raw material. And then a smaller subset of the group, about 10 to 15%, had a strong opinion that they said triads and chords matter more. Improvisation is about phrases, not scales. You can sound robotic if you rely on them too much, which I think is really interesting, and there's a lot of truth to that as well. And I think that's where I was kind of getting to in my first thoughts about improvisation and scales, in sounding too robotic or mechanical when you're playing and trying to improvise. And then a smaller subset said depends. That was kind of mixed. Depends on the style, bebop, modal, and how you practice. And then there were some funny comments as well too, as there are in any kind of comment section of Facebook or YouTube. So the big insight and the real takeaway I found is almost no one actually disagrees. Everyone is pointing at the same truth but from different angles. Scales are important, but they don't teach you how to improvise on their own. What do you think? Are scales overrated? Is it a dumb question? Is it a fun question? I want to know your thoughts. Leave a comment.